Good evening to the JKHA RKYHS community. I hope that everybody is feeling good and managing and maintaining their sanity during these strange and trying times. I wanted to share a Dvar Torah with everyone as we approach the end of the week and as Shabbat comes upon us. This Dvar Torah is not actually related to this week's Parsha. It's related to one of my favorite psukim, and in particular it's a pasuk that I've been thinking about a lot over the last couple of weeks as we've been going through what we're going through. So I just wanted to share a few thoughts about it with you all. This pasuk actually takes place towards the end of Sefer Bereshit, in the midst of the story of Yosef. And when Yosef has already been appointed a viceroy in Egypt, we know there comes a great famine, and this famine affects both Egypt and Eretz Canaan at the time. So his brothers come down to Mitzrayim because they know that's where they can get food. They can buy food for their family to help support them. So the brothers of Yosef go down to Mitzrayim, and then they unknowingly encounter Yosef. And we know from the Psukim that while Yosef recognizes them, they don't realize who they're speaking to. And they go through this elaborate encounter with Yosef, where he accuses them of being spies and where there's a lot of tension between them. And then finally Yosef tells them to go return to Eretz Canaan, to come back with their younger brother Binyamin, in order to help prove to him that they're not truly spies. And he holds back Shimon as a hostage, so to speak, as they do return to Eretz Canaan. But before they leave, the brothers buy food, which was the real intention of their trip. They buy food, they pay for it, and they take their food and they head back to Eretz Canaan. Then something very strange happens. Yosef actually returns their money to them without telling them, in order to really do a kindness for his family, so that way they don't have to pay for their food. But then as they are on their way back and they're traveling, we find in Pasuk Kaf Zayin something very interesting. It says, "Vayivtach ha'echad et sakoch latet mispo lachem oro b'malon, vayar et kaspo v'hinehu b'fiyam tachto." So in English, it says here, so when the one of the brothers opened his sack to give feed to his donkey at the inn, he saw his money, and behold, it was in the mouth of his sack. So here, this brother is so surprised and so confused. And then what happens? Vayomer el echav hushav kaspi v'gam hinei ba'am tachti. So this brother tells the others, he says, my money has been returned to me, and behold, it too is in my sack. Now this is amazing. That what comes right after this is what I was specifically referring to. What do we find in the pasuk? Vayetze libam vayachardu. Vayachardu ish el achiv lemor ma zot asa Elokim lanu. Their hearts sank, and they turned trembling to one another, saying, what is this that God has done to us? What do they say? It's amazing. In the Chumash itself, it says, what is God doing to us? What is going on? Does God have it in for us? What is going on here? What's so amazing about this pasuk is its dramatic irony. The brothers in this moment, they're completely hopeless. They're bewildered, they're frustrated, they're angry. God, what are you doing to us? And they think they are in dire straits. But what's amazing is that we, as the readers, as the audience in this story here that we're reading in the Chumash, we understand the story is completely different from what they perceive. In their limited perceptions, they think that they're in the midst of the worst scenario possible. But we know this is actually really the beginning of their salvation. This is the story of how the family of Yaakov was going to be reunited. Yaakov, who's been mourning his son for all this time, has been distraught. He's going to get back his son. Yosef and the brothers will be reunited, and he will forgive them. This is the beginning of the end in the happiest possible way. But they don't understand that. And what's amazing about this pasuk is this is a moment in time where Hashem is giving us a glimpse into his perspective. Because yes, in the human perspective of the experience of the brothers, at this point they are in trouble. But in Hashem's perspective that he shares with us here, there's a story that they just don't have access to yet, that they don't always that they can't understand yet, but we can. So in the midst of all this difficulty that we're going through right now, I do not want to in any way, God forbid, minimize the real tragedies and the real difficulties that are going on for many people. everyone should be well, everyone should be healthy. We should not, God forbid, experience any of the illness or the death that we know has befallen so many. But on a smaller level, as we, as parents, as teachers, as children, as all of us are going through this major disruption of our routines, where I don't know about you guys, but I like to be in control. I like to organize things. I like to know what's coming. And guess what? I can't really do that right now. And if anything, all I can do is come back to this pasuk to remind myself, yeah, I don't have that control, and I can't plan myself the way I want to, and I can't have that illusion of control that I can have so often. But I have to trust now. I have to trust, and I have to take heart in a world that's greater than me, and a God that certainly is greater than I am, who can have a plan and I have to be able to trust in that and let go of it. And of course, I have to do the efforts that I need to do to be safe and to keep my family safe and to keep the larger global community safe. So please, with that, I wish everyone health, security, peace, and I hope that for all of us that this resolves as soon as possible, and that in the meantime we can take some comfort in the fact that there is a plan that is larger than us, and God willing, we can all be together and we can make our way through this difficult time.